Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this doesn't work. Hold on one second here. We are now open for business. I know a bunch of you guys have been wondering where I got the sign. One of our great fans out there, Yvonne, actually made it for me. Don't know if she has a website or if she does this and sells them and all that, but I'll send an email to her and find out if she does or how to get in contact with her about getting the signs. Because this thing is it's really great. It's like a piece of plexiglass, so it's clear, but it's routed out with all the detail and stuff in there, and I just love the way it illuminates. In fact, Yvonne, I'm going to be getting another one from you as well, so I'm going to have Joe Boo Cowboys, or excuse me, Cowboy Joe Boo on it. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this morning's edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because, literally, you can't sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. Stuff always happens late in the evening, middle of the night, first thing in the morning. So you want to be up to tune with what's going on. Fortunately, things have been kind of quiet. I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm actually surprised with the Terrence Williams situation. What Terrence Williams did, or allegedly did, is no worse than what anybody else has done this offseason. In fact, it's mild in comparison. But we know the Dallas Cowboys are treated differently than any other team. He wrecked his own car. Wild man went the wrong way, drunk, and hit and wrecked another car. Not really covered. So, looking at that situation, wasn't that much coverage of it yesterday, which is great. We're beginning to be treated maybe like other teams. And it may also be that the NFL CSI has shut down. All of the instances that we've heard this offseason, from domestic violence, drunk driving, being stopped in Costa Rica with too much weed, we haven't heard anything from the NFL on investigating. In fact, their lead investigator who investigated the Zeke Elliott situation is no longer with the NFL. And I have yet to hear about a replacement for that person. So it may be that the NFL has finally said, you know what? We're not going to be the judicial branch of government here. We are not going to be the ones that are trying to figure out if you're guilty or innocent. Maybe it's going to be that they're going to let a court of law decide what happens, and if you're found guilty of something, then they'll deal with it. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any punishment for Terrence Williams, if Terrence Williams stays on the team or not stays with the team. If he is suspended, it probably would be a bad thing for Terrence Williams, but possibly a good thing for the Cowboys, because if he's suspended, the Cowboys could void his contract. As it stands now, if they cut him, basically you're getting a $5 million cap hit. So if he stays or goes, it's costing you $5 million. So we'll have to wait and see if anything happens by that. But at least it's not the media storm that it used to be. Now, interestingly enough, Van Der Esch has a Greyhound bus that is actually painted up. It's the Van Der Esch bus that his family is going to be riding to go to Cowboy games and stuff. Vander, if you'd like to hook a brother up, we could use a Joe Boo Man Cave bus or a RV. Just saying. But that's kind of cool. So it'll be interesting to see that bus parked over there. Maybe if we end up going to the game, we'll be parked next to the Van Der Esch bus with the RV. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Other than that, things are kind of quiet in Dallas land. We've got phase 3 of OTAs. We know that Earl Thomas has not shown up, has not reported, and nobody in Seattle knows anything. And Seattle, of course, is not working on a long-term deal for him. They're just basically saying, you got a contract for one more year. We want you to be here. We're hoping you'll be here, but you're not getting any more money. We don't know what Earl Thomas is thinking, because Earl Thomas has gone completely off the grid as far as social media and everything else. All the articles you see are the coach, players, former players of Seattle all saying he should get paid or he should be here. We hope that he's going to be here. He's part of our plans, but nothing from Earl Thomas. So it could be Earl Thomas is working his way to getting kicked to the curb. Ooh. Now, interestingly enough, I saw a piece this morning from NFL Network, and they were talking about who is the best team in the NFC not called the Eagles. And it's funny because every year it's the same thing. Whoever did well and made the playoffs was automatically the best teams. And they always fail to take into consideration that half the teams that made it last year won't be playoff teams again. But yet, here it is. They had the usual suspects. They said, oh, of course the Eagles are the best team. Then they said the Minnesota Vikings. They're a great team, although there may be a chink in the armor with Aaron Rodgers coming back. And, of course, Sean McVay's Rams, best teams in the NFC. They fail to take into consideration the normal turnover. And we talked about this a bit on Saturday. Last year, only one team who made the playoffs the year before made the playoffs in 2017, the Atlanta Falcons. And I dare say I believe the Atlanta Falcons are on their way downhill. I believe personally that Matt Ryan stepping back to Matt Ryan of before Kyle Shanahan, is the Matt Ryan you're going to see going forward. That offense went way south from where they used to be. And I believe they're going to continue to go downhill. Think about it. Matt Ryan, who just got $100 million guaranteed, only had 20 TD passes. So all you Dak hitters out there talk about how bad Dak Prescott is, he still had 2 more touchdown passes than Matt Ryan. And we won't even count the 6 rushing touchdowns on top of it. So when you start looking around, I had said, in my mind, from the teams that made the playoffs last year, from the Rams, the Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, the Eagles, and the Vikings from the NFC, I don't think the Panthers are going to make it because they always end up being every other year Panthers in the playoffs, basically. And I believe the Falcons are going to go downhill. I do believe the Rams have a good chance of being in the playoffs. Seattle, I don't think addressed all the issues that they had. I think Arizona's going to be a little bit better as well. But I think the Rams could probably win that division again. I'm looking at the Saints actually winning the AFC South and making the playoffs. The Eagles, I think, are going to come back down to earth. I don't think they're going to be repeat champions, but I still think they're going to be in the playoffs. So in my mind, I believe the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Falcons won't be in the playoffs. What teams do I think are going to make the playoffs this year besides those guys? I think the 49ers may actually take one of the wild card spots. I think the 49ers, they started getting some momentum at the end of the year. They've got Jimmy Garoppolo. They've had some good draft picks and things, and I think the 49ers might sneak into the wild card position there out west. I believe, of course, our Cowboys, because, like I've pointed out many times, Jason Garrett is on the hot seat, and whenever Jason Garrett's on the hot seat, the team always seems to win enough to keep him there. I think they're going to win the NFC East. And I know you Eagle fans are going to say, I'm just a homer, but I'm going by the statistics that basically say nobody has repeated in the NFC East since the 2003-2004 season, and that includes 2 Super Bowl winners. And, of course, the Packers back with the bad man, Aaron Rodgers. You can't discount the guy. I hate him. I hate the Green Bay Packers from the beginning of the Ice Bowl on through today. For whatever reason, the Green Bay Packers seem to have the Dallas Cowboys numbers in games that mean it the most, and I think the Packers will be back. So that's my look at teams I think they're going to be in the playoffs next year, as opposed to the talking heads. We'll find out. We'll revisit this next year and see how close I am. But again, from the NFC, I believe it's going to end up being the Rams, Saints, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, and 49ers. And we'll see how many of the talking heads out there disagree with me. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and I got to go get to my day job. I'll see you guys